Broadcasting from Dar es Salaam, this is TBC News, our top stories. Njombe to host a May Day 2026, the Prime Minister acknowledges its significance. International Finance Corporation IFC hails Tanzania's ZIRA 2050, vows financial support. Thank you very much for joining us. My name is Nasa Kingu. Just a reminder, you can also follow us live via our YouTube channel, TBC Online, and also get all the latest news through our Instagram, Facebook, and X pages, all at TBC Online. About 1.105 billion shillings have been collected for the preparations of the Workers' Day 2026, which this year will be held nationally in the Njombe region. Speaking in Dodoma during the preparation for the event, the Prime Minister, Dr. Mwigulu Nchemba, said the government recognizes and appreciates the contribution of the public and private sector workers in national building. Let's get more details on the story.
During the event, which was led by the Prime Minister, Dr. Mwigulu Nchemba, a sum of 1.105 billion shillings was collected, with the Prime Minister, Dr. Mwigulu, said the funds will help the host region to complete preparations for the event.
Tunatambua kazi kubwa ya wafanyakazi.
We recognize the great work done by the employees in both the private and public sectors and their contribution to the development of our nation. As we approach May Day, we celebrate the achievements we have made as a country, all of which have been possible because of our dedicated workforce. We therefore have every reason to mark this celebration on large scale. Across all sectors, we have witnessed significant progress.
Furthermore, the Prime Minister commends the Tanzania Confederation of Trade Unions, TUCTA, for its creativity in ensuring that the May Day celebrations leave a mark in the host region.
Vyama vya wafanyakazi wamekuja na ubunifu.
Our colleagues from the trade unions have introduced an innovative idea to ensure that the Labor Day activities leave a lasting impact. Just as they did in Singida region, we will also implement a similar initiative. You have come up with something significant that leaves the meaningful mark in society.
The Njombe Regional Commissioner, Anthony Mtaka, says the celebrations are of great opportunity, not only for the Njombe region, but also for the regions in the Southern Highland region, outlining that not less than 5,000 people are expected to participate in the National May Day celebrations in the region. In Tanzania, May Mosi, which is International Workers' Day, is celebrated annually on May 1st. It is a significant national public holiday dedicated to honoring the contributions of workers across both the private and public sectors.
The Jakaya Kikwete Cardiac Institute, JKCI, has officially received and began providing specialized treatment for a 2-year-old Alice Daudi from Uvinza in Kigoma region, whose admission to the institute in Dar es Salaam follows a broader initiative by the Tanzanian government and the JKCI to provide advanced cardiovascular care to children from across the country. Here are more details.
The move follows a few days after Alice's mother requested for her child's treatment through social media. Earlier today, the Jakaya Kikwete Heart Institute received the child ready to start specialized treatment.
The surgery required a significant amount of money, as the child has medical condition costing more than 8 million shillings, which the family could not afford. The child case was shared on social media, where Her Excellency the President came across it through the JKCI, and under the President's directive, a decision to support the child. We sincerely thank the President for facilitating the child treatment, from diagnosis to the upcoming surgery.
The head of the Department of Pediatric Cardiology at JKCI, Dr. Sulende Huwoja, says they will continue to closely monitor the child's development following treatment, while JKCI Goodwill Ambassador Mrisham Porto reinforces the Institute's inclusive mission, insisting that the facility will continue to provide essential services to all groups regardless of their background or financial status.
In cases like this, it is treated as an emergency, so there is no waiting time. Action is taken immediately. However, some patients require several medical tests to ensure they do not have other underlying conditions, so that when they undergo surgery, they can do so safely. We have received the child, and although there are additional health challenges, we will address them and stabilize the condition before proceeding with the operation. The key message is that we all need to show love and compassion to one another in our country. Whatever little you have, use it to support someone in need.
On the other hand, Alice's mother, Aisha Said, apart from thanking the Institute for the medical assistance, she urged the Institute to provide more specialist services in rural areas. I would like to make a request that seminars and education be taken to the villages. Many children are getting sick. A doctor may say it is pneumonia after tests are done, but when it comes to giving injections, it becomes difficult. As a result, some mothers abandon treatment and do not take the child back to the hospital. Dr. Peter Richard Kisenge, who is widely recognized for his humanitarian work and leadership in cardiac care, has promised to finance child Alice's studies up to the level of a doctor using his personal funds. Tanzania has made significant progress in its health sector, driven by progressive health policies. Key achievements include a rise in life expectancy and major expansions in specialized medical services that have positioned the country as a growing hub for medical tourism in East Africa.
Great job there by JKCI. Now from Dar es Salaam, we move to Washington, D.C., the United States, where the International Finance Corporation, IFC, which is the private sector arm of the World Bank, has reaffirmed its commitment to partnering with the government of Tanzania to drive National Development Vision DIRA 2050. This collaboration focuses on leveraging private sector participation, expected to provide over 70% of $1 trillion financing required for the vision to implement the strategic infrastructure projects. Here are more details.
The pledge was made by the Vice President of the Institute, Ethopris Tafara, when he met and held talks with the Tanzania delegation led by the Minister of Finance, Ambassador Hamis Musa Omar, at the Institute's headquarters on the sidelines of the World Bank and IMF meetings in Washington, D.C.
They can help both in terms of project preparation, but they can also help in terms of specific transactions. So we should think about how it is we support you through PPPs and what you want to do on the energy side and what you want to do in transport and logistics. I recognize that you have a sizable agenda when it comes to energy and a sizable agenda when it comes to ports and logistics. On the energy side, we increasingly are looking to promote private sector involvement, not only in generation, but as you noted, in transmission and distribution as well. So glad that you're considering opening up transmission to the private sector. We're doing this in a number of markets across Africa with a certain measure of success. We'll see what we can do with respect to what you're trying to do in the energy space in Tanzania.
On the other hand, the Minister of Finance, Ambassador Hamis Musa Omar, explains the various efforts being taken by the government to improve the business and investment environment in the country, welcoming IFC to participate in the implementation of DIRA 2050.
Mchana huu tumekuwa na mkutano na wenzetu wa shirika la fedha ambao linasaidia sana IFC, ambao linasaidia sana ukuaji wa sekta binafsi. Tumewaeleza miradi ambayo tunayo Tanzania, tumewapa tena kwa muktasari dira yetu ya maendeleo ya kipindi hiki kinachokuja kuanzia mwaka huu mpaka 2050 ya Zanzibar na Tanzania kwa ujumla, na tumekubaliana mwenendo ambao tutakwenda nao hasa kwenye upande wa miradi mikubwa ya kutekelezwa na sekta binafsi.
According to the IFC's assessment for 2025, the institution has invested approximately $197.4 million in the first half of the fiscal year 2026 through short-term loans aimed at stimulating the private sector activities. The amount of IFC investments in Tanzania has reached $315.9 million, of which 74% is directed to the financial services sector and 26% to manufacturing, agribusiness, and other services.
The Minister of Finance, Ambassador Hamis Musa Omar, says Tanzania will analyze and work on the recommendations made by the International Monetary Fund, IMF, and the World Bank on how to deal with the effects of ongoing conflicts around the world, including the current one in the Middle East, which threatens the well-being of the world economy. Let's get more details on the story.
Ambassador Omar made the remarks when he met and held talks with the Executive Director, representing the Africa Group 1 constituency at the International Monetary Fund, Adrian Obese, and the Director of the African Department at the International Monetary Fund, Abebe Selassie, on the sidelines of the 2026 spring meetings of the IMF and World Bank Group, held in Washington, D.C. in the United States.
Mgogoro wenyewe mpaka sasa hivi unajitokeza kwamba unaweza ukawa na athari nyingi.
When such conflicts arise, they often come with multiple impacts One of the most immediate effects that has been widely observed is the increase in the global fuel prices. Secondly, it affects trade as a whole. Thirdly, there has been a challenge regarding fertilizer supply. All these factors ultimately contribute to the rising cost of the living worldwide. Even the tourism sector in our country has been affected, alongside increases in airfares.
On the other hand, the executive director representing the Africa Group 1 constituency at the IMF, Obese, and the director of the African department at the IMF, Abebe Selassie, say that the war has increased the cost of living after the increase in oil prices.
Options, what kind of policy response we together, the funding authorities, should have to address the challenge coming from these shocks from the Middle East. Of course, today we are speaking about oil, but tomorrow we'll be speaking about fertilizers. Yeah. And we'll speak about food insecurity and how we prepare for that one. So it all depends on how things move. That's what we think that will be important to engage with staff on trying to understand better the situation to be better prepared to respond.
Pragmatism, that kind of flexibility, really important to manage economies at a time like this. The second one, I think, is, the governor has heard me say this a zillion times, but on the exchange rate side, he's done so much work the last few years to continue to deepen the FX market, eliminate the black market, build reserves. So having a cushion, and we're living in such a shock-prone world. When shocks like this come, relying on exchange rates flexible.
The 14th is on a historic 10-day tour of Africa, his first major to the continent since becoming head of the Catholic Church last year. Covering 4 countries and nearly 18,000 kilometers, the visit comes at a time of rising religious tensions in parts of Africa, alongside broader global political divisions. As the Pope calls for unity and peace, he is also navigating recent public disagreements with the U.S. President Donald Trump over the issues like migration and nationalism. Let's join Teddy Mparanyanga, who dives deeper into what to expect from his visit.
Pope Leo XIV's visit to Africa is being seen as both symbolic and strategic. Spanning Algeria, Cameroon, Angola, and Equatorial Guinea, the 10-day journey is focused on strengthening interfaith dialogue and addressing growing concerns over religious tensions in regions like Nigeria, Liberia, and the Sahel. In many communities, Christians and Muslims have long coexisted peacefully, but analysts warn that the political manipulation and regional conflicts are increasingly straining those relationships. The Pope in his address cautioned against what he described as the weaponization of religion, urging leaders to reject division and instead promote tolerance and coexistence. His message comes amid recent tensions on the global stage, including public disagreements with former U.S. President Donald Trump. While the two have clashed over migration policies and nationalist rhetoric, the Vatican says the Pope remains committed to dialogue, even with those he disagrees with. Throughout the tour, Pope Leo XIV is meeting religious leaders, young people, and communities affected by conflict, emphasizing grassroots engagement and reconciliation. Observers say choosing Africa for his first major apostolic journey highlights the continent's growing importance within the global church. But beyond symbolism, the Pope's message is clear. Peace requires action, dialogue, and leadership willing to rise above division. For now that the message is resonating across the region and a world grappling with uncertainty.
Coming back now to Tanzania, we move to the Morogoro region, where the Morogoro Regional Police Commander, RPC Andrew Kantimbo, has issued a warning to drivers using the Morogoro-Iringa Highway following the ongoing heavy rains that have caused a landslide and blocked one side of the road at the Iovi area in the Morogoro region. Speaking after arriving at the scene, ACP Kantimbo said the government, through the Tanzania Road Agency, Town Roads, is currently continuing efforts to remove debris that have blocked the road.
Tupo hapa eneo la Iovi.
We are here in the Iovi area where, as you can see, part of the mountain has collapsed. The falling rocks have blocked one side of the road. This situation has been caused by the heavy rains that started around 2 a.m. and continued throughout the night, leading to the landslide. We are grateful for the cooperation from the other road stakeholders, particularly TANROADS, who responded quickly and deployed machinery to remove the rocks so that the road can be passable again.
The Morogoro Regional Police Commander also calls on road safety officers to continue educating drivers on safe road usage to avoid further harm, especially during this rain season. Tanzania is widely recognized as one of the most peaceful and religiously diverse nations in the region, with the followers of different faiths living side by side. The country continues to stand as a model of unity, tolerance, and coexistence. But this harmony did not happen by chance. It is the result of a long-standing culture of mutual respect, strong leadership, and shared national values. Teddy Mparanyanga tells us more in today's We Are Tanzania.
Utanzania wangu ni muungano wetu na tofauti zetu zisibadilike tu.
Since independence under the leadership of Julius Nyerere, Tanzania adopted a national building approach that placed unity above division. Religious identity was never allowed to overshadow national identity. Instead, Tanzanians are encouraged to see themselves first as citizens of one nation, regardless of their beliefs. This foundation helps shape a society where churches, mosques, and traditional beliefs coexist peacefully. Today, this harmony is evident across the country. In neighborhoods, places of worship often stand within close proximity, serving communities that interact daily in schools, markets, and workplaces. Major religious celebrations such as Eid al-Fitr, Christmas, and Eid al-Adha are not only observed by followers, but respected and acknowledged by the wider community. It is common to see Tanzanians sharing in each other's celebrations, reflecting a culture of inclusion and respect. Religious institutions across the country also play a key role in promoting peace and social cohesion. Through interfaith dialogue, community outreach, and joint initiatives, leaders from different religions work together to address social challenges and promote national unity. Their collective voice has often been instrumental in maintaining calm during the times of tension. The government continues to uphold policies that protect freedom of worship while promoting national cohesion. In Tanzania, faith is deeply personal, but unity is national. Despite differences in beliefs and practices, Tanzanians remain bound by shared values of respect, cooperation, and peaceful coexistence. It is this balance that has allowed the country to avoid religious conflict and maintain stability over the years. As the nation continues to grow and modernize, preserving this harmony remains essential. Leaders and citizens alike are tasked with ensuring that future generations inherit a Tanzania that remains united regardless of faith. In diversity, Tanzania finds strength. In faith, it finds guidance. And in unity, it secures its future. Teddy Mparanyanga, TBC News.
And that is We Are Tanzania. We move now to the Dodoma region, where the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, led by the chairperson of the commission, Justice of Appeal Jacobs Mwambelege, today has met and held talks with a special envoy of the Commonwealth Secretary General and former president of Malawi, Dr. Lazarus Chakwera, who visited the commission's office in Dodoma. The special visit of the Commonwealth Special Envoy aims to discuss the conduct of the 2025 general elections, specifically focusing on challenges, post-election events, and facilitating a dialogue on reconciliation. Coming now to Dar es Salaam, an economic analyst, Dr. Bravius Kayoza, says Tanzania has no viable alternative to public-private partnerships in meeting its development financing needs under the fourth five-year development plan and Vision 2050, noting that the plan requires approximately 477 trillion Tanzanian shillings, with about 70% expected from the private sector through public-private partnerships. Speaking to TBC News in Dar es Salaam, Dr. Kayoza explains that 170 trillion Tanzanian shillings is expected to be mobilized through the public-private partnerships, as government revenues and foreign investment alone cannot close the gap. He calls for deliberate reforms, including budget allocation for project preparation and viability to move over 113 public-private partnership projects from planning into implementation.
Yeah, I think there is no alternative to the PPPs as far as the 5-year development plan is concerned between 2026, 2027, 2030, 2031. And this is important because the assignment is huge. PPPs will have to mobilize almost $68 billion, and that is equivalent to 170 trillion Tanzanian shillings as part of the private capital mobilization. But also to do that, we need to do some certain reforms. We have to get serious about it. Number one is to make sure that we are deliberate on allocating the budget for preparation costs, which are required for viability of PPP projects. And that means the numbers show that the government will have to allocate almost 1% of that particular basket.
On the other hand, a political analyst, Issa Omar, says public-private partnerships are central to delivering Tanzania's Vision 2050, emphasizing that success will depend on strong governance, transparency, and institutional credibility to attract investors and ensure real benefits for the citizens.
The public service reform program in 2000, which was guided by the new public management paradigm, the government decided to introduce market mechanism in managing public service. But then you had introduction of privatizations and outsourcing, contracting out, as well as PPP, the setup of PPP. But then one of the main limitations of the new public management, especially with regards to public administration in Tanzania, was that you had agencyfication of the public service, creation of many agencies. And consequently, what you had, the situation was that you had many agencies, but they were uncoordinated following the decentralization of the large ministries as part of the implementing the proposed World Bank reforms of public service, the public service reform.
And now, before we wind up the local news, let's now take a look at today's exchange rates according to the Bank of Tanzania, BOT. Don't miss TBC News every weekday to know all the latest in exchange rates. Now, before we conclude the news bulletin for tonight, let's again take a look at the weather forecast for the next 24 hours starting from 9 p.m. tonight.
Good evening. Once again, this is 24 hours weather forecast from Tanzania Meteorological Authority. For tonight, we expect future particular conditions, thunder shower over a few areas over the Lake Victoria Basin, western part, entire coast, including Morogoro region, while northern Eastern Highland expect future rain shower over a few areas, and the rest part of our country expect future particular condition. For tomorrow, average wind speed expected over the most part of our country, and the strongest rainfall signal starting from the southern coast extending to northern part of Morogoro regions. TMA issue an advisory expecting heavy precipitation at times over southern coast. Please take note on that. For tomorrow, we expect future cloud conditions, thunder shower over few areas in sun interval over southern coast, Dar es Salaam, Pwani, together with Morogoro region. Northern Eastern Highland, central part, southern Western Highland, expect future rain shower over few areas in sun period. And the rest part of our country expect future particular condition, thunder shower over few areas in sun period. Let's have a look for the 4 days weather forecast for some part of our country, starting from the day after tomorrow. Dar es Salaam expect future thunder shower over few areas, and Dodoma expect future light rain shower over few areas. Mbeya expect future thunder shower over few areas in sun periods. Likewise, Mwanza expect future thunder shower over few areas in sun periods. Kilimanjaro expect future rain shower together with light rain shower and thunder shower. Morogoro expect future thunder shower over few areas in sun periods. Arusha expect future rain shower and light rain shower. Dear viewer, we thank you for watching us and have a good time.
Well, and that marks the end of the news bulletin for tonight. Don't miss our next bulletin in the Kiswahili at 11 p.m. On behalf of the whole team, I am Nasa Kingu. Thank you very much for watching and have a lovely night.